Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to continue our learning journey with Material Management, exercise 30. Enter an invoice with advanced transaction. I think it should be the MIRO transaction. Yes. From the last part, we have already created a different purchase requisition, transform it to purchase order, and then put the good receipt with the MIRO transaction. And now is the time we posted their invoices once we received them from the supplier. For anyone who's new, my name is Anh, a junior SAP consultant. I'm learning myself different logistic modules inside SAP S/4HANA Private Cloud, and want to share with you my learning journeys. Hope that you might find something helpful for your projects or day-to-day operations. So let's get into it. So the business example that the supplier S52 sent us the invoice for his delivery, and we need to enter the invoice for logistic invoice verification. All right, so this is I think a scratch of the PDF that we received from the supplier from the EFD parts, and we receive it in the company 1010 in Hamburg. The invoice number is 9106. Invoice date is today. And with the reference to the delivery note, DN06, they charge us for 3 different items with 110 pieces. Total invoice is 11,305 euros, and 10% of those is a VAT, which is tax, input tax, and in total we have 12435 euros. So we need to simulate the posting of the invoice and post it, and we need to document the invoice number here. All right, not so complicated, I guess, but as we have never used a transaction before, let's add them first into the favorite MIRO. Enter incoming invoice. Company code is of course 1010. So what we see here, the invoice date, as I said, it should be today. Click enter. We have a balance of 0, and this is not incorrect. This is incorrect at first. We need to first get the amount. Sometimes I get confused here. Is the amount that I give here, it is the final amount or the total net value? Not sure. Let's just give the total net value here, and we calculate tax. 10% should be, yeah. Why the tax amount is not blank? Okay, I'm not sure. what is this option means, but maybe let me select the delivery note 96. If I enter it, you can see that I have 3 different items, and the amount here 4560, 4560, 6270, and 45475. Yes, I think they are correct. But it is okay here. Do we need to select them? Or what does okay mean? Not sure. What does this okay mean? Clicks on help. Indicator invoice item process. Specify whether you have compared the invoice item with the corresponding item in the physical invoice. Okay. Yes, then I actually compared. As you can see, this is the amount that I have seen, coming from our delivery note or um, good receipt, let's say it, because it's populated automatically when I enter the delivery note. I compare it by my eyes with the invoice we receive from the supplier, and it's all the same, so I click OK for every items. What I'm now confused is you can see here the balance is still incorrect. It is minus 13050, and I think it should be the tax amount. So I think here in the amount we don't, yeah, I think we don't give the net value, but 12435. Okay, we will calculate the tax ourselves and not use this. Because their calculated tax result into 1130.50, and in the invoice, yes, it is the same. All right. Then it should be my bad. So instead of calculating like manually something like this, which result into different balance, we can just click on calculate tax and they calculate it for us, which is 10%. But actually the amount of the invoice I have given it wrong. You can see it's not 123,435. I make also the 50 cent at the end, and now if I enter it, it will update the tax amount as well. And yeah, we can see the balance is now from minus 50% to 0. So we have a green balance, and which we can post. Simulate it first. So we have one credit, which is the account payable of the total amount of the invoice, and we have 4 different good received and 1 input tax. Yeah, just post it. So this is the document number that I get, which is our incoming invoice from the supplier. Display the invoice document and go from there to the purchase order history. All right. Analyze the purchase order history, determine what influence the entry of the good received and invoice had on updating the purchase order history. All right, interesting. How can I now coming back? We are not using the okay, I can click on here on order purchasing document, and they populate this already, and click on select. So this is my MIRO invoice, incoming invoice that we receive from the vendor. We have all the payment, due on, payment terms, details, tax, contacts, note. We have also the purchase order reference directly here in the purchase order reference or the material. And what I'm struggling now to see is this display purchase order structure. So we have the supplier. This is probably the purchase order, and this is all the items. We have good received, it's the same amount as the invoices for 3 things. Yeah, suspension, oil pumps, and well bearing, all posted on the same date. Follow on document is probably the accounting document, which I don't need. What I need now is if I double click on this, I will navigate to the purchase order, and if I now go to the purchase order history, of each item, we can see that the good received, we got it here, 2, 3, 4. We have also the same amount, and this is the good receive that we, no, I think this is the good receive. Wareneingang, the movement I want to want, good receive, reference to the purchase order, and here is our related invoice, I think. Yes, we also got the reference of the delivery note in the good receive, so I think it should be the same for all the item as well. We different from the item positioned, but the header remain the same. What I'm confusing now is for the third item, why do I have two invoices? Okay, we have an account assignment for it. If you remember correctly from the last exercise, we have two different cost center for the IPAM for one cost center, and 6 is for another cost center, and they got posted into two different cost center, I think. If we now navigate it to here and the IPAM, and we check the invoice, as you can see, for all the thing they have only one LEL, but for this we have two, which is posted to different accounts. I'm not sure how I can navigate it from here to the accounting or the account assignment. Wow, I'm not sure. I think it's only the good receive, but they are splitted here. So I expect there should be something that different here for me at least. But no, they don't mention anything here. Yes, if we now see at the material document of the good receipt, we have two different account assignments. Even though they have the same GL account, which means that in the invoice or accounting document, we see only one GL account, which is got posted, but we have two cost center which are using this material from the same purchase order. But yeah, I think yes. So I think the purchase order history is really good, that we can directly see from the advanced transaction ME23N or ME22N. We check the purchase order history and everything that is related. For example, good receive, invoice receive. If something got posted, it also update the purchase order history here for the purchase order, which is very convenient in my opinion. So I think the solution, we don't need to mention it. I think the amount after we correct it correctly, I think it should be correct. And yes, that should be it for today. Thanks again for watching. Hope that you might find something helpful, and see you in the next one. Bye.